Hi guys, I'm Audrey, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite series of 2015. I already made a video with my favorite standalones of 2015, and if you haven't watched it already and you want to, I linked it down below. So let's get going! So the first series that I read and really enjoyed in 2015 was the Fallen series by Lauren Kate. This series is YA and paranormal because it's about angels, specifically fallen angels, and it's also gothic. The series starts with the first book called Fallen, in which Luz has to attend the school Sword and Cross because she has been caught up in an accident where someone got murdered and she got all the blame for it. So she's going to that special school. There she meets Daniel, who she swears she has never seen before in her life, but at the same time he is oddly familiar, like she knows him from somewhere. There are mixed reviews on Tumblr and on Goodreads about this series. I am one of those people who really enjoyed it, and I just thought that the writing was really easy to get into. I found it really interesting and I really liked it, and there are some things coming in the next couple of books which are even more interesting and awesome, but I can't really talk about them because I don't want to spoiler anything to anyone who hasn't but wants to read this series. The next series on my list is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. So this series is a trilogy and the third book is coming out this year in May. It's YA and it's dystopian. To sum this whole book out, aliens took over the world and decreased the human population by a wild mark, I think in the 90%. And Cassie, who thinks she's the lone survivor of the human race, is on her quest to find her younger brother and to keep him safe. Along the way she meets Evan, who might be her only help, but at the time where this takes place, you can never be sure who to trust. I really love this series and I can't wait for the last book, and I can't wait for the movie, which is about to come out in a couple of days. Oh my god, I'm so excited. And the cool thing about those books is that you have blank pages in between, and those are like the change of characters. Like it's another point of view, and you see it's really gorgeous because you have like black for like the sky and stars and the name of the next part, should I say so, and yeah, it's absolutely one of my all-time favorites. So the next series on my list is The Program by Suzanne Young. This series is also a trilogy, but I just read the first book so far. It's also YA and it's also dystopian, and in this world suicide is an international epidemic, so everyone is under constant surveillance, and teenagers especially. So as soon as signs of depression are being noticed on you, you get swept away into the program and you come back as a completely new person. This story is about Sloane and James, who are a couple, and they both lost someone who was really dear to them, and that was Sloane's brother and James' best friend, and they lost him through suicide. So those two promised each other that they would stay strong and not get put into the program, but some things happen and depression is setting in. So I found this really unique to have an illness that you fight within yourself and make it so big. The next series that I read, and which are the reason I didn't continue with the treatment, was Penguin and the End of Days by Susan E. Or Susan E? I'm not sure, sorry. The series is YA and it's also paranormal because it's also about angels, but it's also dystopian because angels came to the earth because they have this huge battle between their ranks or the different angels, and they set it down to earth and yeah, kind of use it as their battlefield. And by doing that, they also kill humans and do a lot of not nice things. The earth is destroyed, society is destroyed, and things are really shitty. This series is about Penguin and her sister, her little sister, has been taken by some of those angels, and she wants to find her sister and keep her safe. But under some circumstances, Penguin partners together with one of those angels called Raffi because they help each other. Okay. Because they both are their best help in order to accomplish their own goals. Let's just say like that. So they form kind of a partnership of benefits. And things happen. Yeah. I absolutely adore this series. It's one of my favorite series ever. What I really loved is that the main character, Penguin, is totally kick-ass. Like, she had lots of self-defense and martial arts class, and she's just so kick-ass, and you just root for her the whole time, and she's so witty. And Raffi is like also really witty and full of sarcasm, and just their banter is everything. It's so hilarious, and that all thrown together, and their whole journey is so amazing, and I definitely recommend this. It's so awesome. Next series on my list is very famous on Tumblr, and I absolutely adore it, and that is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. This series is going to be 6 books long, but only 4 books have come out so far, and 1 book, which is a collection of novellas and is considered book 0 of the series. And the 5th book is going to come out this fall, and I can't wait for it because shit is about to go down from now on. This story is about an assassin, a female assassin called Selena, and she is serving her life sentence in the salt mines of Endovier. She gets out of it, but only to take part in a competition, kinda, to become the king's champion. And she takes her chance, and a lot of things will happen. It's YA and it's fantasy, and there's even a cool map on inside of it. It's so awesome. I have to say it's one of my favorite series ever. Selena just has this huge character development, and the whole series in itself, it gets better by each book, and I love it so much. And the thing is, I can't tell you what's happening in the next books because that would be even more spoilery than anything I could say about the other books. And because so much is happening after that book, and it's just simply amazing, and I can totally recommend this. It's really, really awesome. The next series is also from Sarah J. Maas, and that is A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is the first book of the trilogy called A Court of Thorns and Roses. So far, only the first book came out. The second book is going to come out in May, I think, or in a couple of months. And this book is a retelling from Beauty and the Beast, but also in a different kind of way, because the Beauty in this case is a huntress who provides for her family, and the Beast is a fae who lives in the fairy realm. Feyre, who is the huntress and the Beauty in the story, kills a fae while she's hunting, and kind of to make, like, compensate this life for a life thing, she has to go live with the fae who the other fae that she killed kind of worked for. And yeah, and things happen. I absolutely love this book. I'm a sucker when it comes to retellings of famous tales and that kind of things. And I just fell in love with the characters, and I just love Sarah J. Maas. I love her writing. I totally get lost in it. And oh, it's even signed because I met her. Best day of my life. And it also has its own map. It's so awesome, and I seriously can't wait, because this book is so much more than you think it would be in the beginning. And it's just, phew, like the ending. What? Even, it's so amazing, but I don't want to spoil or anything. So much feels about this book. Next book is also a trilogy, where only the first book is out so far, and that is Blood for Blood by Catherine Doyle. Seriously, this book is so amazing. The second book is going to come out in a couple of days, and I'm super excited, and I can't wait until I have it, and I have to immediately read it, because the series is, or this book was so good. I devoured it in like, I don't know how much time I spent, like 2 or 3 days, and I completely devoured it because it's so good. It's YA and it's contemporary. It's about Sophie, and she lives in a suburb in Chicago. And then, in a boring summer, a family, or actually just 4 boys, move into town in an abandoned house. And yeah, by chance, she meets one of those boys, and the magic unfolds. I already talked about this book before, but it's so awesome. It's full of suspense and love and romance, and so many things are happening, and it's so well written, and gosh, it's so cool. I can only recommend it. Only recommend. It's so good. I actually read the next series in 2014, but the last book just came out last year, or in November. So I think it's part of the list. and that is The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. This series consists out of 4 books, and each book is centered around another fairy tale. The first one is called Cinder and is about Cinderella. The second one is called Scarlet and is about the Red Riding Hood. The third one is called Crass and is about Rapunzel. And the fourth one is called Winter and is about Snow White. There is another book that is called Fairest, and it's kind of like the backstory of the villain. The series starts with Cinder, and she's part cyborg, and she lives in New Beijing in the future. Moon is populated, and it's a monarchy over there. Really hard to explain. It's just really awesome because it's a really good series. It's YA and it's fiction. The next series I read was The Abundant Trilogy from Mac Cabot. It's YA and paranormal, as you could guess, or fiction. I get so confused with all those categories, to be honest. I just know a few. This trilogy is kind of like a modern day Persephone kind of retelling. It's about Pierce, who had a near-death experience and went to the underworld where she met met the ruler, and something happens and he wants her to stay in the underworld with him. So she moves to another town, attends another school, but she still meets him there. I absolutely loved it because Persephone is my favorite goddess of Greek mythology, and I just love Greek mythology in itself so much. So I thoroughly enjoyed the series and I absolutely love it. The last series I read in 2015 and completely fell in love with it was the Starcrossed Trilogy by Josephine Angelini. This trilogy is also about Greek mythology and it's awesome. Seriously, it's so great. It all starts with Helen and Lucas when Lucas and his family moves to Nantucket, and then they meet in school, and there are 2 things that come to her mind as soon as she sees him. The first one is that he's the most gorgeous person she has ever seen in her life, and the second one is that she wants to kill him. She has so much hate in him, she has so much hate inside of her that she wants to kill him with her bare hands. And it's because of an ancient curse that's been said hundreds and thousands of years ago, and may have something to do, it has a lot to do with Greek mythology. It's all about Greek mythology in here, but it's super awesome. Such great characters. They're characters that you fall in love with at second glance. Like, at first you think they suck, but later on, if you know more about them and everything, it's just they're becoming so awesome. And the main character, Helen, she has this really great character development, and she becomes this really strong female, and that's like really empowering, and I absolutely adored the series, and I am so glad that I read it because it's so good, and I can only recommend this. It's YA, and I also think this is being called paranormal, but I'm not quite sure because I can't really put it into one category. It's just really awesome and great. Those are series that I read in 2015 and really enjoyed and loved and only recommend to you. If you have read them as well, feel free to comment below and we can talk about it. I also want to know what your favorite series of 2015 are. So feel free to comment below and recommend away, and let's talk about all those things. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Yeah, I wish you a great day, night, evening, afternoon, noon, midday, early morning, or whatever time is it in your time zone or when you're watching this. You're awesome, and see you next time. Bye.